Hi, it's Camilla from the Sewing Society, and in this video I'm going to be starting on some of my autumn winter plans. A couple weeks ago I did a video on everything that I thought I'd like to make during the next few months. One of the things I talked about was making some collars to go underneath jumpers, so just the part that's like not the whole shirt, just the part that's got the collar on it. And so I've got this pattern. It's really cute. It has a few different collar designs, but I'm going to be doing this one with the scallops in the front, which is super cute. And I've got this fabric. I've already cut it out, but yeah, this is a fabric. It's beautiful linen cotton, and it's such a pretty color. I'm not sure about it on me, but we'll see what it looks like when it's finished. I think it'll be all right. And yeah, so I thought you might like to join me as I have a go at making this collar. Okay, let's get started. To make this project, you'll need Simplicity Pattern S9448 or any faux collar pattern that you would like, approximately 1 meter of mid-weight woven fabric, 6 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch size buttons. That can be in the form of a covered button kit or just regular buttons, and some matching thread. I'm making view E with covered buttons and scalloped edge. I'm making a size large in accordance with the measurements on the packet. The instructions will tell you which pieces you need to cut out for which view you're going to make. First up, I needed to put some stay stitching around the neckline on all of the pieces. Then sew the front and the back together at the shoulder seams. Then, after putting interfacing onto one side of one of the collar pieces, I join them together right sides facing, and then I need to trim back the excess fabric in the seam allowance. I started doing this and I started clipping into the rounded edge, and then I realized that I should get out my pinking shears, making it a lot quicker and a much nicer finish to the curved edge. After I turned it right sides out, I did a line of understitching. This helps to keep the under collar in place. Next, I'm going to put the collar onto the right side of the fabric with the right side of the collar facing up. Pin the collar in place along the neckline, matching up the notches. Then stitch it in place. Okay, so it's coming along quite quickly, which is nice. So this is it so far. I think it's looking cute. In the pattern it says to have elastic at the sides, but I thought it would be nicer to have ties out of the same fabric. So that's what I've done. And then you can tie it up. And then I thought that would actually be nicer if I did want to wear this on top, just as it is, like over a shirt or something, which would be cute, kind of like a vest sort of look. So yes, keep going. Now I'm going to attach the two front lining pieces. Only the two front pieces are lined. The back is just hemmed. And there is also a back neck facing, which is a strip of bias. Usually we'd make sure that the seams are facing towards the back of the garment, but because only one side is being faced and I want the seam allowance to be hidden, I'm going to push the seam allowance to the front. Make sure to catch your ties or elastic in the side seams. Then I'm going to sew all around the edge. I'm going to go really slowly around the curves of the scallop to make sure that they're nice and smooth. Now I'm going to trim away the excess fabric around the curves using my pinking shears again. If you don't have pinking shears, just cut quite close, about 3 to 4 millimeters, and then snip into the curves. This helps to make the curve nice and smooth when we turn it to the right side. Also trim away all the corners. This will help give us nice crisp points. I also clipped into the collar neckline curve to help it sit flat. Now it's time to turn the front pieces right side out. I also did some understitching at the back neck collar to keep the facing to the inside of the garment. Now we need to get all the corners nice and sharp and pressed. To do this, I use a chopstick, which is really handy. It's not too sharp, but just enough to get around the curves of the scallops. You might want to use something a bit sharper for the points. Here I'm using my snips, but be careful not to make a hole in your fabric. This is where all the trimming and clipping and snipping and pinking come into play to make a nice finish. Next, I pressed up the hem for the back piece, making sure to get the raw edges of the ties caught in that hem. I also pressed under the seam allowance for the back neck bias facing. Here I'm pinning the back neck facing and the lining to the shoulder seams. I thought it would be nice to hand stitch this in place, but you can definitely do this on the sewing machine if you prefer. I thought it would be really nice to include covered buttons in this project. They really elevate the look and come in pre-made kits, so you've got all the bits and bobs that you need. I'm using Birch brand in 1.5 centimeter size, and on the back it has a little template for the size circle that you need to cut out in your fabric. If your kit doesn't come with a template, it's just double the size of the button. So my template is 3 centimeters in diameter. Once you've cut out your circle of fabric, the next step is to do a row of running stitch a couple of millimeters away from that outer edge. Once you've got running stitch all the way around, place your button on top of the fabric and then pull the thread to gather it in. Pull it quite tight so that it's nice and taut, covering the button. I do a couple of extra stitches here to keep it in place. Next, you want to kind of push the fabric down into the button around the shank. The next part is probably the most fiddly, putting the button backing over the shank. You have to press quite hard to get it to snap into place or lock into place. I used the end of my pen, and that seemed to work quite well. And there you have it, covered buttons. And now all that's left to do is sew the beautiful covered buttons onto the collar. It's so cutie. I love it. It's so cute. I can't believe how well it turned out. I know it's not for everyone, that's for sure. Wearing it this way especially, but I think it looks really cute over the top of a little blouse when it's a little bit warmer. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like with the jumper on top. I can't go outside today because it's raining, but I think you can get a good idea of what it looks like. The pattern does say to put a little press stud there, which I think I will do so that it sits a little bit better there. Yeah. And I like not having the elastic. I think the ties look really cute. A little bit nicer than having elastic. If you were just going to wear it underneath though, the elastic would be okay, but I think it makes it look a little bit nicer if you're going to wear it out on top. I love it under the jumper too. And this is actually quite a good one to wear it with because the back is quite a big neckline, so this part would always get cold. So that's nice. Now I've got a nice cover there. It's so cute. I know you can't see the cute scallops now with the jumper on, but I know they're there. And yeah, I think it's a really cute little piece. You can, I do lots of different things with it. I think it would look really cute over a t-shirt as well in the summertime. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and if you decide to have a go at making one of these yourself, please share your pictures with me over on Instagram at The Sewing Society. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for some more sewing videos like this one. And I'll see you next time.